Men in their first match, all congenial. Nobody won 3, nobody lost 3. It was 2-1, really friendly. The women weren't as friendly the first week. There were a couple of the teams there that said, no, we're going to win all 3. And a couple of the other teams that said, okay, we'll give you all 3. So we had a couple of 3-0s that first time there. From there, I want to say that the first time I appeared at the women's match on that first week, and I walked up probably in the middle of the 3rd game, the first thing I hear from Angela was, I didn't say a word. So ladies, Angelo was great this year, wasn't he? The second week, unbeknownst to me, or maybe it was unbeknownst, that's such a word, there was a cruise, Harry Giles cruise, and I scrambled to find like 16 subs for the second week. And there were a couple of ladies teams that played with only one original player and the rest subs in that second week. So I don't remember how they did, won or lost, but we'll have to think about that in the future. You also had one rain out, and that rain out caused maybe a little bit of controversy for the ladies. I was told when we had our captain's meeting, and this is just what was told to me, that women don't like the playoffs. The men like the playoffs, the women don't like the playoffs. So when we had the rain out, I had a discussion with Mary and said, what do you think we should do? Should we just cancel the match and have the playoffs, or have this match instead of the playoffs? It just so happens that Mary was in second and Carol was in first, and said, well, you know, either way you're going to play each other. So we decided to have the match so everybody could play 7 weeks. So as a result, nobody missed a match, but the ladies did not have the playoffs, and that probably had a little bit of bearing on how many games had to be played in the playoff. We also had in the 6th week there, to show you how well balanced the teams were, particularly on the men's side, going into the last week of the season, into week 7, we had 5 teams tied for first. And I don't think that's ever happened here at Harry Giles before. But 5 of the 8 teams had a record, I believe it was 10-9. So there was no runaways in the men's tournament. And during that final week, 4 of the teams were playing each other. So that really made it a little bit more exciting. But the last week, matter of fact, my team and the team we were playing, we had 3 games that ended at 11-10. And because of one man, and I say this only because they were playing my team, Jack Ashley, you here? Right here. Jack, stand up. You don't know Jack Ashley, that's Jack over there. And the competition was so close this year that on the very last ball that Jack threw, and he whipped this ball and he broke everything up. And as a result of the last ball, he knocked my team out of playing for first place down to 5th place. And that's how close the teams were this year on the men's side. So I really think that the captains did a great job in picking out their teams this year. The ladies in the last week, in week 7, on court 1, we had a situation, you might have seen it up here. On court 1, during the last game, the Polina, or Polino, and believe it or not, there's no such thing called a Polini, but we call a Polini here at Harry Giles. But the Polina wound up under the sideboard. And if you watch the pictures, it'll probably come up again sometime here on a rotating basis. But it went under the right sideboard. And the discussion was, what do we do with it? Because the ladies on the opposite end that were still throwing the balls had no idea where it was. It was only the people on the other side that were watching that said, oh yeah, it's over there. So the decision was finally made to move it out so at least they could see it on the other side, know what they were throwing at. That game also went for, that match also went for 2 hours and 15 minutes. So that's where we stood at that particular point. And I will have to say, last week, the women did chase the men off of the benches. Because it seems like more men come to watch the women than women come to watch the men. And that's because the men love their wives so much that they have to be there to cheer them on. And then they have to sit on the benches so that the women have to stand. But they never give instructions. So I think we did a good job this year, men, for that. All right, let's see some awards here now and where we're going to go with this. In the third place, for the women, I'll do the women first. Third place with a record of 13 wins and 8 losses. I'm going to ask you to come up as I call your name, because Lou is going to be there with his camera, and you'll see these online. Third place, Captain Barbara Brady. Luigi Vigiano. Diane Pisano. Marty Majewski. And Pat Marozzo. Come up, please. How you put your statement? Please come up front. Don't be shy now. I will say that we have a new treasurer this year, in case you didn't know. Marianne Price is our new treasurer. Thank Frank Susan for all the work he did the past few years as treasurer. And I don't know whether or not at the last tournament the captain kept some money or not on each team, because Marianne has now given me 5 different envelopes so that each player gets the money and doesn't have to chase after the captain. So, Barbara, I'm going to hand these to you, or you can at least hand them out to your teammates. And third place team, give a hand. Second place team, with a record of 14 wins and 6 losses. Team number 4, Captain Mary Lewis. Sharon Mooney. Debbie Bennett. Pat Pellegrino. And Katie Giordina. Give a hand. Accepting for Sharon is the quack over here, Duck Mooney.
That's some already. Big cheese. Hold on. How much cheese? Never see it. Never see it. All right, good.
In the final match of the season for the ladies, which sort of was like a playoff, it was kind of exciting, where the second place team won the first game. Second place team was ahead 10-7 in the second game, but the first place team pulled it out and to win the championship for the women with a record of 16 wins and 4 losses. Team number 2, Carol Bear as captain. Barbara Connor, Janice Catali, Debbie Scholes, and the girl that always says, "I'm trying," Marianne Brosio, who's not here. For the first time this year, each first place team member will get a shirt. And we get to keep their money.
Captain?
Give me legs. What? A jack, legs. Sorry, can you get me one?
The shirts, by the way, were all embroidered by Sharon Milne, or Duck. One of the two. No? Okay, Sharon. So we thank Sharon for doing that for us. For the women, the most valuable player this year goes to, drumroll, Janice Vitale. Most valuable player for the women. Turning to the men's side. In third place, listen to this record, 11 wins and 10 losses to make top 3. Team number 2, Manny Juggler captain, Bob Lewis, Bob Davis, R. Benny Vesti, and John Rubio, or something like that. The men, of course, did have a playoff this year, so it was first against second and third against fourth. And in the playoffs, Manny's team defeated Tony's team 2-1.
Take a picture, guys.
Our second place team this year, with a record of 12 wins and 9 losses, team number 1, Captain Steve Mosconi, Ken DeFlori, Joe Hurd, Bill McClune, and Larry Rutledge, second place. Okay, these are 3/5 of the team. I'm sure they will hand the money over to the other 2. And the first place team. It was a battle to the end between first and second. Again, it was the second place team that won the first game, but lost the next 2. So in first place with a record of 13-8, team number 8, which was at the beginning of the season, they were down at 5 wins and 7 losses. So they actually won 8 of their last 9 games and really deserved to get this first place award. And the first place team captain, Lou Vigiano. Teammates, Paul Pellegrino, Peter Sora, Fran Ravaglio, and Dave Freeman. Congratulations, first place team.
What a team, what a team. I don't care.
And they get the Irish shirts. Not a man over 55 here. Let's have a hand for the first place team. And the men's most valuable player this year goes to Peter Sora. exhibition match this year. That took place last week. And thank you for those of you that came out to watch the game. Unlike last year where it was over real quick, this lasted a good 45 minutes to an hour. It was a very interesting match to watch. A lot of good players playing against each other, a lot of people having fun. In the first game, the first time around, the men went ahead 4-0. First part of the match. Women were not to be outdone. They scored the next 4 points, 4-0. So it's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The women pulled through with an 11-8 victory. The men were looking frightened. So they pulled up to a planet beyond the Earth. Down to Earth came this man in a cape. You might know him as Superman. He came on like a house on fire. He basically took over. And the men won the second game 11-2. The ladies were looking for kryptonite, could not find it. So the third match went to the men 11-4. But it was a lot closer than those scores. For any of you that were watching the games, they were good games. They were games where a quarter of an inch separated 1 point from 2 points going the other way. So it was an excellent match, and I applaud the women, I applaud the men. Thank you for the entertainment for that day. One other award to give out this year, we're having an award for the most improved player of the year. Most improved. That award this year goes to Cookie Giordano. Cookie learned to play both a wall ball and a straight ball. And she was great at both. Well deserved, Cookie. Now that we are through with this tournament, the 2017 Spring Tournament begins on May the 9th. It will be 5-person mixed, men and women. We're looking for the first 20 women, the first 20 men, to try to make it equal. They'll be on Tuesdays at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And again, 40 players. There will be applications on that table as you leave. So if you are thinking about it or interested in it, please pick up an application. It will also be online.